Alrighty guys, here we go. Let's get this video started. And here are the top 5 things that you guys need to take away from the entire 1 hour and 36 video. Starting at number 1, the huge one, the big piece of the pie, aka Big Chungus, the King Kong size of the news of the entire video, is Adam's pledge and his legal verbal agreement that he and the company will not, I repeat, will not, if passed, dilute or dump any of the 500 million shares they're asking to create and authorize on May 4th in this calendar year of 2021. In other words, we do not have to worry about the 500 million share ordeal in conjunction to the squeeze. We can lay that to rest and move on to the real goal, which is the squeeze itself. I mean, it's out of here, finito, boom, period. And if you guys don't believe me, here is the SEC report. I'll make sure to put it down into the, I'll leave the link down below. And here we go, excerpts. This is from Adam Aron, from the company. We are going to pledge right now today publicly, and we will file this publicly, so it will be binding on us because you cannot announce intentions and then not carry through it. We hereby pledge at AMC that if the shareholders approve the authorization for 500 million new shares to be issued, we will not use one of those 500 million shares in calendar year 2021. Not one, not one. So there you guys have it. That is number 1 right there, that they will not use any of the shares for the calendar year if it gets passed in 2021. So, I mean, can you complain? No, but that is the biggest news to kill all worries about any sort of dilution, any sort of, distraction as far as what our main goal is. And our main goal here is the squeeze, the squeeze, whatever you guys want to call it. That is the main goal. All right, so let's go ahead and go to number 2, which is the squeeze itself. Trey asked him about the short squeeze, the good old short squeezazi. And, he wanted to see if Adam, in any way, shape or form, if he could talk about the squeeze, because he knows, and as everybody else knows, that the overall company is just being shorted. It's being attacked heavily the last 2 weeks. It's been consolidating, but the price hasn't been going our way. And I know it's been hard, and I know it's been emotional, but that is something that Trey asked. And obviously, he can't give a direct opinion, right? Because he can't implement any sort of price movement, of his own stock, right? Or the stock of the company. But his focus is more on the long-term health of the company, getting over the pandemic, and then leaving the speculation up to us. But he did mention that between the analysts who think the stock is worth a penny or $13, that he's siding with the people who are saying it's more worth $13. So, I mean, he's giving us an idea that we shouldn't worry about the price going down, in the near future. So, I mean, he also mentioned that instead, if he did believe, for example, he said, if he did believe the stock was worth a penny, why would he be running a company? There would be no reason for him to be running a company that's worth nothing. And he's not that kind of guy. In the video, he mentioned in the beginning that, he helped Norwegian Cruise Lines, and he helped the 76ers back in the day. So even when attendance was really low. So he has that repertoire, he has that reputation and that motivation to not only believe in his own company, but to stick to his guns and bring it up from the ground, especially during that pandemic, since everybody just completely stopped going to the movie theaters because of COVID-19. So that's a really, really important thing to mention here, that he does believe in, he didn't say this directly, but he does believe the stock or his company is definitely worth a lot more, especially getting over the pandemic. So as far as the short squeeze goes, He believes that it is definitely worth $13, and that he'll leave speculation up to us. Whatever goes on around the internet, that we will do as we may. But also, he also said that, one of the key things here is that given that analysts have counted out movie theaters a long time ago with radios, TVs, VCR, DVDs, and now streaming, they said that it was going to put movie theaters, or the whole industry for that matter, out of business. But listen up. I mean, before the pandemic and even right now, second to going out for either lunch, breakfast, or dinner, going to a movie theater is still the cheapest way to go. It's still that family-friendly place to go, to take your date, to take your spouse, to take your kids. I mean, if you don't take that as something to motivate you, or you think that that isn't, worth any news, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Second to eating out, that is great. And he also mentioned that with all the NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, MLS tickets that were sold last year or during this pandemic, movies, AMC in particular, makes 7 times the tickets that were sold with all those sporting, professional sporting events combined. That is insane. $5.5 billion in revenue. Or, as far as how much the company made selling tickets in 2019. The third thing we're going to be talking about is the 43 million shares that he talked about that were from an old authorization back in 2013 to raise capital, to raise cash if they wanted to do so. And they've been thinking about it. Now, this is interesting because he mentioned that it is in the best interest of the shareholders, along with the other 500 million shares that they're asking to raise capital and erase debt, in the future, 2022 and later, whether to make acquisitions, that in no way would they, obviously, turn our backs on us by, using these shares to dilute or to screw us over. Now, here it is. Here's the other part of it all. If we need to raise some cash in the short term, remember, now he's talking about the video, just a reminder that they do have 43 million shares that are out there that were authorized in the year 2013. So this was 8 years ago that we could use if we wish to raise some cash. If we decide that's a good idea, we have made no decisions yet. So they do have 43 million shares in their back pocket, and not once have they used it so far. And they could at any moment if they wanted to, but they haven't, because he knows it's in our best interest not to create a panic and not to just come out of the blue and blindside us with 43 million shares here. We are thinking about it, but we haven't made any decisions yet. Now, compared to 500 million that they're asking on May 4th, 43 million shouldn't be anything we should be worried about. But I'm keeping an eye on that, and I'll go ahead and keep you guys informed if there's anything or any more news about the 43 million shares, if they wish to, do something with it. All right, so that brings me to point number 4, but here we go. Not to worry about 43 million shares. Now remember, guys, I'm making this video because it is very important that we do not have to worry about any of these things that I am mentioning. Our main goal is the squeeze. As far as Aaron talking about the short squeeze, he believes it is worth, siding with the analysts, he believes that it is worth $13. We believe it is worth however many dollars, $100, $200, $1K, $2K, whatever the case may be. But this is what he's focused on. He's believing that the value of the stock is definitely worth more than what we think, or that what analysts think for that matter. And again, number 3, not to worry about these 43 million shares. We do not have to worry about that. If you guys want to go ahead and see the document, I'll go ahead and leave it down below. But let's go ahead and move into number 4, which is in regards to raising capital, right? Clearing some, if not all, of their debts in the future in 2022 or later, or acquisitions. This would only be possible if the rule to authorize the 500 million shares, passed. Now, he strongly encourages everyone in the video that they still have time to change their vote till the deadline on May 4th. Needless to say, I initially voted no to the proposal, and I will continue to do so. In my belief, I think the rule will pass regardless. Now, again, even if it does, Adam said, he said in this filing right here, that even if it passed, we do not have to worry about this year. And we believe the squeeze is coming, whether next month, next week, whatever the case may be, but we feel it in our bones that it's happening. It's right around the corner. And as far as the dilutions, May 4th, any of that stuff, lay it to rest, pull an old yeller on it. We do not have to worry about it at all. This is something that will be put in the past, and it won't be an issue anymore. It's not an issue because they will not, just dump shares at all this year or in the near future. He was saying maybe the latest summer of 2022 or 2023. So that is number 4 as far as as far as him talking about, not being too late to change your vote. Now, writing here is easier said than done. It's harder than it looks. So don't mind me if you can't read this, but I'm going over it. So it's not too late at next show to change your vote. And let me know what you guys think if you guys have been persuaded to change your vote on May 4th or by May 4th. I stand at no. So there's that. Now let's go to the last but not least, number 5 here, which is pretty much a good send-off to this video, which is, he wanted to make sure and he wanted to make it very clear that as CEO, as well as the board of directors and executives, that he and everyone else all works for the shareholders, us, the owners of AMC Entertainment, and that he is in our best interest to keep the company running. And he will not issue the new shares to dilute the stock this year because he believes that it is his job to make us happy and keep this company together for the long term post-pandemic, and that he is definitely a huge fan of vapes. I don't know what else to tell you guys, but that's pretty much the cherry on top, right? What better than for him to tell us that he works for us and not the other way around, and not to worry about anything because he's been doing this for decades, bringing companies out of the ground. And this is something that he believes in AMC, that it will make it through post-pandemic. And honestly, so do I. I don't know why you wouldn't believe in this. I love going to the movies an insanely amount. It's an embarrassing number, but I love going to the movies so much because I love going to watch these movies the way they're supposed to be watched, right? On the big screen, with the surround sound, with the people that you like, the people that you love, laughing, crying, just having that whole camaraderie for almost 2 hours with complete strangers, watching a movie and escaping what is, let me see if I could spell pandemic here, which is going on in the world around us. Anyways, guys, those are the top 5 things that you guys needed to know out of the entire 1 hour and 36 minute video. If you guys like the video, leave it a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think about all of these things right here. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks again for watching. My name is Tom Trading, and I love you guys. Thanks.